Get your stuff ready to draw in perspective. First, you're going to find the middle. We're going to mark it at I'm going to keep my measurements over here. You need your paper. You need to mark at the first mark you make is with your paper, landscape. You're going to mark with your ruler. Okay, it's a 12-inch paper, so mark halfway at 6 inches. Okay, do that top and bottom. That way you can line up your ruler. Make sure your ruler is flush with the edge of the paper. Okay, and then you're going to come down the ruler and mark at 2.5 inches. So put a mark there. So that mark is 2.5 inches. Then you're going to mark a little tick at 3 inches. Then you're going to mark at 4.5. I'm not moving my ruler at all. Then I'm going to mark all right, so we left off at 4.5. Next, I'm going to put a little mark next to 6. So 6 inches. Then 6.5. And then 8.5. Okay, we're going to come back to those later. So this is the middle. Those are all your marks that you're marking. Okay, now I'm going to turn my ruler horizontally and I'm going to line up the ruler with the edge of the paper. Make sure it's perpendicular. Now draw this line really light because eventually you're going to erase it. This is your horizon line. And right here is going to be my vanishing point. Please don't make this that big. Just a little dot. Okay, zoom in a bit. Next, we're going to come in at our border. So our border was at 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to line this up with the ruler flush to the edge of the paper. I'm going to draw lightly. While it's sitting there, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch there. Move it down to the bottom. Same thing. Draw a line. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Then you're going to flip it. Draw a vertical line matching up with that border. These lines eventually will be gone over in Sharpie, so you can make them kind of dark. Okay, now from here, so you have a border, a nice border all the way around. That's a 1/2 inch border. From your middle point, you are going to take your ruler and draw a diagonal line. You want to draw this lightly because eventually you will be erasing parts of it. And I'm going to go to the corner that I just made, to every corner. And your ruler probably doesn't fit all the way across, so make sure that you're going to each corner, just one section at a time, drawing lightly. Okay. Now we have a bunch of these other tick marks, so what we're going to do with that information is we are going to make boxes. So I'm going to lay, again, my ruler is flush to the edge of the paper, and in between these diagonal lines I'm just going to make a straight horizontal line there, making sure it's straight. Make another horizontal line there. Okay, do the same thing at this tick mark. just in between. I'm gonna bring that down to that little tick mark that we made earlier. Okay, now, as long as your ruler is flush to the edge of the paper, then you can connect those lines with a vertical line. So I'm going to connect it there, and then I'm going to connect it right here. Drag this over. Again, if this is wonky, then you got to fix it. Flush it to the edge of the paper, edge of the ruler to the edge of the paper so that it's perpendicular. Okay, next. You can keep these lines temporarily, but we have gone over and made our different sections for our interior room. And so I'm just going to take a minute and outline the lines that are not going to go away so that you can see it better. Now, even when you are going over your lines, make sure that you're lining it up with the ruler and then drawing with Sharpie, paying attention to what you're doing. If you just try to freehand it, then what was the point of making it all exact? So the thing about drawing in perspective is it is pretty precise in order to make it look realistic. So I'm going over the lines that are going to stay. So the diagonal lines that you'll keep here in a minute. If it's hard to see when it's like that, then turn your paper so you can make sure you're on the line. Okay, so this is that back area, back frame. This is what this back picture window is going to be looking back into time. And so if you kind of picture it, this is the floor. Okay, this is the right side wall. This is the ceiling, and this is the left side wall. So this is where you're going to put your time stuff. So you need, when you are drawing in the process, you need your vanishing point and you need the horizon line. Now that I think about it, I don't want you to Sharpie these right now. Don't Sharpie these. So it should look like this. Leave these, because if you put a piece of furniture right here, okay, it's in perspective. Put like a couch or a side table or something right here, and you have this big line going through there in Sharpie, which eventually you would erase. So don't Sharpie anything except the picture window and the outside. That's the only part that you Sharpie for now.